All right, Zach Lavine is re-signing with the Bulls. Gobert was traded to the Timberwolves for a lot. And Kevin Durant drama is still at large. We're going to discuss all this and more on another episode of... Alright, so KD stuff, all that's great. We'll get to that. But let's start with Zach resigning and Drummond signing at the Bulls.
That's the most important.
5 year, $250 million. I think we all agreed that he should have got that money. He was going to get that money. We knew from about a week ago that he was going to come back to Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm glad he finally did. And then the Drummond signing, a lot of people don't like it. I personally do like it. It provides rebounding that the Bulls severely lacked last year. He gets about 4 offensive rebounds a game, which we lacked last year. And he just gives Vooch 15 minutes to rest. Like in the playoffs, you couldn't put Vooch out of the game for more than 2 minutes at a time because Thompson was pretty much awful.
And at the start of the season, it was Tony Bradley, which was
even worse.
Even worse, yeah. In 22 minutes last year, 12 points a game and 10 rebounds a game. I mean, with 4 offensive rebounds, you're going to take that all day.
Yeah.
I don't know how he only goes for $3 million. I mean, I know he's kind of known as like a head case. He turns the ball over a decent amount. But, I mean, I don't hate this at all for the Bulls. I know a lot of Bulls fans were looking for somebody who can block shots, but all those guys came at a price. Like, Boucher was too much money. Mitchell Robinson went for too much money. So, Mo Bamba went for too much. We got this man for $3 million on a 2-year deal. So, if he plays well, we can have him back for the next year.
Yeah, and I know he doesn't provide the rim protection that we do need still, but he's still a presence in the paint.
He averaged 16 rebounds a game one season. Oh my God.
He will get you a block to a steal a game. And the other thing is, yes, he turns the ball over, but he's an underrated passer. You can pass out of the double team, DeMar and Zach can, to him, and he'll find the right move.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just tries to get a little too flashy, but he will make the right play. So, I'm happy with that.
It looks good. And Zach coming back, I mean, $215 million over 5 years. We needed to re-sign him. Everybody's saying we paid him too much. There was nothing we could do about it. If we just let him walk, it really screws us over for the long term. It's a 27-year-old top 10 scorer in the league player. You have to pay him what he wants.
And I think he's going to come back next year with, this is why I want this much fucking money.
Yeah.
And he's going to go off. And I expect it, and I hope for it. And then also he did re-sign Derrick Jones Jr. for the same deal he gave Drummond, which I liked. Very cheap. He is a good player. I know he was in on the lineup last year, but if you just give the man a role, he can get you boards. He can score 5 to 8 points a game. He's a useful player. I like the signing. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, we were holding out for Gallinari, and this is kind of like a backup option. That's basically what this is. We didn't get Gallinari, so... Yeah. But like Jack said, I don't mind Derrick Jones Jr. I think he's good. He's a little undersized, but he's going to be good.
He was only undersized because we were playing with the center position last year. This year he will not be doing that.
Yeah, he literally played the 5 last year for
the
a lot of games.
And he shouldn't be doing that.
He's 6'5".
Yeah.
You don't want him at the 5.
But let's move to I guess the more riveting stuff for free agency so far. Let's go to the Gobert trade. Gobert was traded for, now there's a lot here, so let me figure it out. Jared Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Pepev, Malik Beasley, whoever their first-round pick of this year was, and 4 future firsts, just for Rudy Gobert.
Right.
What were your initial thoughts?
Okay, so value. Danny Ainge is the GM of the Jazz, and he does not like to be finessed. He likes to be the one doing finessing. He rarely makes trades that are even, or he's losing a little bit. And he did not lose this trade. I mean, he got 5 first-round picks, and I know multiple of them are unprotected. If you trade a 2027 or 2026 first-round pick unprotected, who knows how you're going to be in 3 or 4 years?
Right.
Gobert's going to be 34 years old. Cat will be a free agent by then. You never know what's going to happen. Also, Jared Vanderbilt is a really good player. He's really good. Patrick Beverley and Malik Beasley are more cap fillers to make the salary match, but... and Walker Kessler was their first-round pick this year. So the Jazz got a lot back. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Donovan Mitchell now. You can either build around him or trade him for an absolute haul of picks to Miami.
Right. And then the other thing, I think the Warriors are actually a really good example of what this does to the Timberwolves now. Is the Warriors, for Utah now, is they have a lot of pick swaps in those picks that they were given to. So say like the Warriors had a bunch of injuries and they were like the worst team in the league. Say that happens to the Timberwolves, a bunch of injuries and now they're like the third worst team in the league. The Jazz can now swap picks with you.
Yep.
So you pretty much have given up all security of your picks for the next 4 years, 5 years really, and your best. I think Jared Vanderbilt was a really good player.
He's really good.
That's a really good get for the Jazz, and then.
He's not going to score the ball or anything like that.
Right, he's a lockdown defender. And then for the Timberwolves, though, I understand why. Now Gobert can be your defensive anchor, and Towns can just sit in the arc or go in the paint. Towns can do whatever he wants to do on the offensive end, not have to worry about the defensive end. Edwards is, I think, going to be a solid two-way player in the league. He's average at defense now, but can continue to get better. D'Lo needs to become a better playmaker because you have Gobert and Towns on the floor at the same time. You need a floor general out there that can move the ball, that can get guys like Gobert lob threats, but also be able to find Towns because Gobert really, he has no floor spacing. He's just going to be in the dunker spot. He's pick and dive.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to find a way to get him involved or hide him on the offensive end somehow.
Yeah, one of those two things. I mean, he has absolutely no post-up game. I was watching tape on him when the Bulls were rumored to get him. He cannot score the basketball unless he dunks it.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I do like this for Minnesota. For people saying, "Oh, they're both centers" or whatever. Remember DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis when that trade happened? I thought the same thing. I thought this isn't going to work out, and it did. But this is a little different because one of them can't shoot at all. But I think it's going to work out for Minnesota. I mean,
think about the Cavs too. Played big last year.
Right.
Jared Allen can't shoot, but they still worked it out.
It's interesting. This is not the way I thought the league was going. I thought it was getting smaller and
yeah,
smaller.
but then there's going to be problems when they play the Warriors because Gobert or Towns will be off the floor because you can't play the Warriors.
You can't play ball.
Big. Yeah, that's just not how it's
And
going
the thing is, like, you could if Gobert could actually score the ball because then the Warriors would be forced to guard them both on the floor at the same time, but
Gobert
he can't.
Gobert has to develop at least a hook shot and like an up and under.
Right.
He needs some sort of post
touch, any touch.
Like a post game that can get me 10 points a game because if you can get that, then you're worth it.
Right. But oh God, 5 first-round picks.
It's a lot, and then I guess that transitions us well into this: is what the fuck is KD gonna go for now?
Right.
If Gobert went for that many picks, it says that the Nets want a young all-star. They want a starter, and they want 4 picks or more.
All right, so I've been doing a lot of thinking on this, going through all 30 teams, just figuring out what they can give up and what they can't, and I've landed on the Toronto Raptors. That is probably, if they want to, they've done it before when trading for Kawhi Leonard, they can go get, or give the Nets the most assets for Kevin Durant. Scotty Barnes, the Rookie of the Year, they can easily trade him. Gary Trent or OG Anunoby, one of those two. And then you still have either Gary Trent or OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, and Pascal Siakam to pair with KD.
Yep.
So that looks really good. And another thing, like you said before, Jack, they have all their picks too. So
They have all their picks.
They're going to be able to really put a nice package together.
So I agreed with you on that before we even started this, but then the other team I'll throw in there is the Pelicans. The Pelicans can give you Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and picks as well. But here's the problem with Kevin Durant being traded. Because the initial thought and response from every team around the league and all fan bases, I'll give anything for him. But would you really give anything for him? Because, like, he wants to go to Phoenix, right? And Phoenix doesn't want to give up D-Book, and that's its own thing. But say they can get away with not giving up D-Book. You're going to give Aiden, Bridges, Cam Johnson, and either Shamet or Jay Crowder. So now your 2 best defenders are gone.
Maybe 3.
3 best defenders, 3 best defenders are gone. You have no rim protection anymore, and you have no depth.
Right.
So you're pretty much just playing with those 3 guys that have to play 45 minutes a night. And yes, they'll score probably 120 points, but they'll also let up 145.
Yeah, so it's...
And it's just like, guys like Kevin Durant don't move much in the trade market because they're just so good.
And when they do, they move freely. They're unrestricted free agents. A team's not getting back half of your team and half of your picks for the next decade.
And that's why this move is so hard for the Nets and other teams to make because initially you're like, yes, I'll give you this as fucking Kevin Durant. But you're also giving away your whole future and all your other picks. So the Raptors will have to give up Scotty Barnes, either Gary Trent or OG, and 4 picks.
I mean, look at it like this. Is Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and KD title contenders? You would say off the bat, yes. But another thing you would say is off the bat, KD, Kyrie, and James Harden were title contenders, right? And you can just fill in the rest. You can't just fill in the rest. Like, you can't have 3 players just win a title.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
And
you
honestly,
need a full 9, 10, 11-man roster.
And we talked about this yesterday. If KD goes to the Phoenix, I still think that the Clippers and the Nuggets are better teams. I know that I didn't like the Nuggets Will Barton move, but that's another thing.
Big Nuggets guy.
MPJ, Jamal Murray,
No doubt.
and
They're
Jokic.
healthy.
Jokic has led them to a 5 or 6 or 6 seed 2 years in a row by himself.
Without them. Yeah, it comes down to
Imagine
Michael
Jamal
Porter
Murray
Jr. for them.
and Michael Porter Jr. healthy.
Yeah.
And then the Clippers are the Clippers. The Clippers may be the deepest team in the league with and 2 superstars. It's ridiculous, actually.
It really is. All right, so we can talk about the winners of free agency so far.
Yeah.
I'll start. I mean, based off what the Timberwolves gave up, I think the Jazz are big winners, but I think Atlanta kind of got a steal for DeJounte Murray.
Oh.
They're only giving up 3 first-round picks. I know 2 of them are unprotected, which is hard to do, but this is a 25-year-old point guard in his prime who...
On the greatest deal in the league.
Right, who could maybe... or looks on paper like he could fit Trae Young very well if he can get a consistent jump shot
Just
down.
a mid-range, not even a 3.
Right, it'll be interesting to see what they do with John Collins. Apparently that's at a point of no return, so it looks like he will be on the move, but they haven't moved him yet. They were supposed to move him before the draft, and they haven't. So it'll be interesting, but I do really like that move for Atlanta.
I think the obvious winner is Boston. Boston went out and got not only Gallinari, who staples their bench, but they get Malcolm Brogdon, who is the point guard they were missing. One of our friends who's a Boston's fan, Jack Duffy, fuck the Boston Celtics, by the way. But you were right, or I told you this yesterday. You guys needed a point guard, and you guys got out. Probably got the best option out there. You got a 6 assists per game point guard. Doesn't turn the ball over too much. He can shoot the 3. He's just gonna be great for you guys. That also means that you can now round out you can move Marcus Smart back to the shooting guard, not have him turn the ball over 18 times a game, and get the ball out of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown's hands, in the half court, because that was ugly in the finals.
Yeah, they got Gallinari too, which the
That's
Bulls wanted.
for their
He looks
bench.
really nice.
Their 10-man rotation, they have 10 people deep, and it's
yeah.
going to be played. Those 10 people will play in the playoffs.
Apparently they see Brogdon as a 6th man, so maybe this playmaking point guard they didn't acquire, but I don't know. I don't
start Brogdon.
Yeah, you might want to start Brogdon.
It's because they don't want to move Horford to the bench, but I would just say Horford, you got to go to the bench, and you got to staple the second unit with Gallinari.
Yeah, I think that they got. They didn't even have to give up Grant Williams or Peyton Pritchard or anything like that. It was like Aaron Nesmith, Daniel Tice, and like a 2023 protected pick, which is gonna suck anyway because it's Boston and they're gonna be in the playoffs. Yep. So this was a really good trade for them, and having the ability to not give up Grant Williams or Peyton Pritchard or Derek White, like a good starter for them, is really, really nice. Brogdon's a good player in this league still.
Another winner that I think went under the radar is just the Bucks. They re-signed Wes Matthews. They re-signed Portis, and they went out and got Joe Ingles on a 1-year deal, which is nice. PJ Tucker also going to the Sixers was a good move for them. That's really all they did. I thought they were going to do more since Harden's taking a pay cut, but I guess not. Oh, they got Daniel House too, which I like him as a 3-point shooter and defender as well.
Yeah, I think I thought they were going to do more too.
Bruce Brown went to the Nuggets. That's another really good move, an underrated move. Bruce Brown, the guy from
Yes,
Brooklyn.
I did.
He can defend. He can get you 11 to 12 points a game if you need it. That's a really good move.
To pair with KCP, that was a bad trade.
That was a bad trade. I don't understand that, but maybe it was.
Hopefully, Bones Highland is really good this year.
Yep.
But the Bucks, that was a really good signing. Joe Ingles. I mean, they just need as much shooting as possible around Giannis. So Bobby Portis, 40% 3-point shooter. Wesley Matthews, 40%, and Joe Ingles is one of the best in the league. So
well, let's quickly go through each conference now with the moves that have been made so far. And where do you see, in the East, what would your top 4 teams be? Because I know mine. What would yours be?
All right, so KD is not on the Raptors, right?
Yeah, KD has not been moved yet. We're assuming that KD and Kyrie. Well, actually, we gotta go back to KD after we do this real quick. Just gonna have some other stuff to say about that. But
Okay. I'm gonna go Milwaukee as the 1 seed, Boston as the 2, Miami as the 3, regardless of Donovan Mitchell or no Donovan Mitchell. They're still really good. And I want to go Chicago, but Philly's really good. I'll go Chicago.
So, I also have Boston and Milwaukee interchangeable 1 and 2. It could go either way. They're both going to be really good. Barring any injuries, of course. This is all with everyone going to be healthy the whole season, which is very unlikely, but let's assume everyone's healthy.
Right.
I'm not as high on Miami as everyone else is. I know they played good last year, but they lost PJ Tucker. They didn't go out and get anyone new yet.
Mm-mm.
And Oladipo was fine, but Oladipo, like, no one knew, like, oh my god, they have Victor Oladipo, we're screwed. No one says that.
Right.
Jimmy Butler never really goes out crazy in the regular season unless he has to. Bam still is not improving at the rate I thought he would, and I have no idea what's up with Tyler Hero.
Yeah,
So,
he's just being chucked
I think
around
it's
in
going to
trade
be,
rumors.
I think at 3 is going to be Chicago or Philly. And then whoever's not at 3 there is going to be the other team.
Yeah, so it's
So I have
Chicago.
Miami at 5.
Yeah,
And then I would put Atlanta there, but I want to see how Trae Young and DeJounte work together first before I put Atlanta in the top 5 of the East, just because I don't know what that looks like on the court yet.
Yeah, I mean, and you look around the league. Cleveland's still good.
And
Brooklyn will be good. Toronto's really good.
So let's hop back into KD because that'll explain why I have the Bulls higher in the Eastern Conference. Kevin Durant, the Bulls were in talks to get him, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. One, because we have Patrick Williams, who I guess is a younger star.
Yeah,
Will be a
he's good
star
asset,
hopefully one day.
Yeah.
But the Bulls don't want to give up DeMar, Vooch, and P. Will, and like 2 picks for Kevin Durant. 'Cause
Yeah.
that blows up your entire team. And I'd rather have our front office has preached continuity and chemistry since last season. That was 1 year of guys together, and really we weren't really together much because half our team was injured.
We were.
So when everyone was healthy, and we weren't even all healthy because we were missing P. Will, but when
Right.
we were majority healthy, we were a top 2 team in the East. I expect us to be fully healthy next year. I expect Zach to be better. I expect P. Will to be better. I expect Io to be better. I expect Lonnie to be back. I can't see us dropping in the East lower than 6 than we were, and I see us just being better. I see us being a top 4 team because continuity. We're going to be playing together another year. We've added a couple pieces to our bench, and we brought back Zach, and no one's going to get worse than they were last year.
Yeah, we're not
Vooch needs to step it up a
regressing.
bit, but I think if Vooch can be like that 18-10 efficiently, not like last year, if he's efficient 18-10, I think 3 or 4 seeds not even that like out of the realm possibility. Now the playoffs is different.
It's not.
The playoffs is a different story because we don't have that like superstar unless Zach Lavine jumps out of nowhere this year and does that.
Right, but that we can attack that at the trade deadline. We
Our
just get
team-
another half a season to figure out if we're
Our team
it or
is a
not.
really good built regular season team. When you have 3 All-Stars and the rest of your players around you are all really solid players, like that's a regular season team that has a formula to win. Does it mean you're going to win the playoffs? Maybe not, but in terms of regular season, I would not be shocked if we ended up as a 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah, neither would I. I could see both ways too. I could see us as a 6-7 seed as well. I mean, other teams are really good too. Everybody's good. Every game is going to be tough. Like even Washington, which nobody will predict will make the playoff, has some good players on their team. So it's interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be...
And then really quick, if you were here to listen to where we think Kyrie Irving's going, we have no idea. I literally have no clue. I mean, there's been talk about the Nets like stretching and waving him and stuff like
Which
that.
would, like, that's unreal. I think that would be stupid too because the Nets said they don't have any plans to accommodate him, which means they're not going to buy him out because that just gives him what he wants. He goes sign with the Lakers for $10 million.
So
and
so
he only wants to go
weird.
to the Lakers. But here's the thing: he has no control.
None.
The
and
Nets
they
can
don't
send him
care.
wherever the fuck he wants. But the problem is, no one else in the league besides the Lakers wants Kyrie Irving.
Right.
And the Nets aren't going to get enough in return for anyone else. And yes, you're like, oh, well, why would the Nets want Russell Westbrook? Well, they're not going to get anything better anywhere else. So you might as well get what you can from the Lakers.
And I think that relationship is so bad. Like, Kyrie Irving is the reason why KD is not on the Brooklyn Nets anymore. I mean, they can't be happy with Kyrie. They don't want him to play in Brooklyn, so I don't think he's going to play
I've
there.
voiced my annoyance with Kyrie for 4 months now,
You really have.
and it's
Kobe
just not
Martin
getting...
just went back to the Hornets. 4 years, $32 million.
For Cody Martin?
Yeah, he's
Not bad.
decent.
Oh, yeah, Miles Bridges, before we end. Okay,
Yeah,
he was pretty much... they pretty much just made him an unrestricted free agent. I know he's going to jail.
they pulled the qualifying offer from him.
I know he's probably going to go to jail.
He
He's
is.
But here's the thing: he's an NBA player, so you never know
You never know.
when and how long. So which means he's going to be pretty much free.
Free.
I'm not condoning anything he did. That was a terrible thing that he did.
100%.
However, if after trial and whatever happens, if he is playing in the NBA still and he's as free as he's going to be,
Yeah, this
I'll
isn't
pay him a minute.
this isn't the MLB or the NFL though, where you do something, and you're suspended 6 games.
Right.
Or something
He'll
like
actually
that.
he'll actually face penalty and punishment. So I doubt he'll
He's-
be in the league.
He's probably never gonna play in the NBA again. But
If he does,
on the off chance he does,
there'll be plenty of teams out there being, well, you weren't convicted, so I'll sign you.
if he wants to make a comeback, and I'm Arturas Karnosovas, I'm not
Karnisovas, but that's
Karnisovas. I'm not disregarding that
yeah.
option.
More likely option is T.J. Warren.
Yes, that's
Right now, I would like to go after him right now. That's probably the
what I
best player on the board right now.
Yeah.
He points off the bench.
I don't know how much money we had to give him. Do we still have that
We have
biannual?
We have that. We have about $6 million left in the MLE.
Really?
We're paying only like 3 and 3 to these other guys right now, so maybe $5 million left in the MLE.
Okay, and you can't like add.
We also have a trade exception if we want to do like a mini trade. I think we're gonna hold out on a Kobe White trade to see if he can play well in the first half of the season and maybe bump his trade value, which would be a great move to do during the trade deadline. Last year we were trying to move him and no one wanted him.
Yeah, because he played
Because
shitty.
he was shit. Hopefully this year he comes back and is not shit. The other thing is I like Dalen Terry over Kobe White anyway.
He just
He's
wants
6'7"
hardest worker at his camp.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Alright, but
He's on the
yeah,
come up.
like there's been a lot going on already. We'll have probably multiple episodes coming up just because there's so much going on. The minute Kevin Durant news drops, we're probably gonna record one of these
Yeah.
and get one done.
Let us know in the comments if we missed anything that you want us to talk about. We can talk about it.
And I think this Kevin Durant deal will probably drag out at least another week. So
Yeah, we'll be here.
We'll be covering it here and on the TikTok. Go check that out as well. It's probably multiple videos a day now. So,
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.